I assume Talbot will be here, but we can. Earl. Oh, it's meeting to order. Let's stand and recite the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's pray. We ask for your presence in this meeting as we strive to be productive and efficient in our discussions. Help us to stay focused and on task. Give us creative ideas and solutions that will bring about positive results. Brief moment for your own intentions. I get approval of the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda. Any discussion to that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Opportunity for public comment. Those wishing to come forward and provide comments, I will allow 3 minutes per person. Let's handle all of if anyone's here to speak on the limestone mine, the mine stuff, let's handle that. I'm also going to allow 3 minutes per person, as I will with every subject, but also a half hour. Let's go 20 minutes maximum. I think we've heard a lot, and we've got a lot of emails, and I appreciate them all. But 3 minutes apiece and 20 minutes maximum. I'll have Commissioner Liggett keep track of the total time, and I'll keep track of the per speaker time. Go ahead, sir.
Bob Burns from the Piedmont area. After the last meeting, we've come to understand the flaw in the state law that keeps Meade County from passing an ordinance like they tried. We are very confident that the legislature is going to fix that flaw in this legislation. And we're just hoping that the county will dust off their organs, revise it, and get it ready to pass the next Tuesday after they change the law, because they'll probably put an emergency clause on it. The state has abrogated all authority for this type of mine to the counties, but that flaw keeps this county, from passing an ordinance. It's certainly everyone agrees is not right. And our group down there is not here to prevent mining. They just want to have some law and order to it so that it's managed like every other type of mine in the joining counties and in the state. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. Green light.
There we go. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having us again, Commissioner and Commissioners. I wanted to make, I'm sure that you're aware of this. You know, they had that gypsum mine along the interstate where those 5 houses or 6 houses have been condemned and people had to file bankruptcy, and I know you're all aware of that. As I've been running this Facebook page with 3,000 people following and 600,000 views in just a month's time of the concern that this is to just all the residents. Gary, thank you for coming out to our meeting on Thursday. We had over 300 people showed up on Thursday night at the Oak Creek Lodge. I had a couple reach out to me from Blackhawk, which is in Meade County, and they had come to several meetings and asked me to come see them. They've been there for 45 years. Their house is adjacent to the Pete Lean Simon mine, is what it is. Their driveway's cracked. Their wall of their garage has fallen off. It's like off its foundation, and yet they get taxed. Their taxes have gone up from $1,800 to I think $3,600, the number they told me. It's going to be on Facebook. We as leaders of our community, you and I consider Bob and many of us leaders of the community trying to help people, is that they have no answers and nobody will give them any answers. They have a seismograph is placed behind their house on any given day they blast. They have a half-hour notice that they're going to blast. There's a 60-foot berm behind their home. I guess my thing that I come back to, I said last time, is where's the property rights for the people? I'm not against mining, but it makes no sense that these people, there's no way their house is worth what it was. There's no way. So all this stuff needs to change. I mean, these people were there before the mine was. Now, if you moved by a mine, or I moved by a bar and it was loud music, that's on me. That's what I'm trying to make you aware of. I'm not even aware of this. I'm a transplant. And I'm out here meeting people, and I tell you what, it hurts. It hurts. I ask you to go to Blackhawk and go up there and look and see where these people live and what's happening. And these trucks coming through at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, which I'll get on video one of these days. They're not supposed to go till 6. They're coming at 4:30 in the morning right through town over there. That's not supposed to happen. We have no accountability anymore in our world. Anybody can do whatever they want to do. Those 18 axle trucks are going through there. The last thing is, if the mine's not a big deal, why does the state have an air quality monitor on the east side of the school up on top of that hill if it's not a big deal? Not a big deal, right? Just mining. It's gravel mining. I yield. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Greenberg. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, so I'm Mike Davies from Sturgis. We raised our kids here, and I've lived here for 40 years. We live just over the Lawrence County line out here on Whitewood Service Road, a couple of miles. And a realtor knocked on my door about September 15th, about a month before Piedmont happened, and wanted to buy our place and 3 other neighbors because they want to mine from Spring Creek, which is the bridge that goes over the interstate and Whitewood Service Road about halfway between here and Whitewood. They want to start there and go toward Sturgis with a limestone mine. So I started looking into it a little bit, and it turns out that the mining companies own all the land, not all, almost all the land, the majority of the land between Spring Creek, which is halfway to Whitewood, and Sturgis, clear up to the industrial park. And I was unaware of this, but apparently it's happened gradually over the last 20 or 30 years that they've kind of bought them up one at a time. So unless there's some thoughtful planning by Meade County and City of Sturgis and Lawrence County, etc., I fear, and we fear, there's a group of us here that live in that area sitting back here, that those hills are going to be taken down between 60 and 100 feet is what the realtor told us, that's how thick the limestone is. So we're going to lose the natural beauty of our hills, which I think is going to impact tourism and certainly our reputation as a town. We're going to become a mining town. Kind of like West Rapid, and I understand there's an air quality alert in West Rapid today. And I fear all that dust is going to blow with the prevailing wind this way into town, for one thing. But not only that, we have the usual concerns of recharging the aquifer with the water, the blasting, the disruption of the wells by the neighbors, the big trucks on the road. We don't want any of that, the group that I represent. And I don't think notifications are going to help us. We just want to make people aware that this is probably coming for us. Now, the realtor told us it might be 3 years before they start, it might be 10 years before they start, but it's coming in the future. And already there's a lot of people in our area concerned. So I'm here to raise awareness that this is an issue that the only way we can deal with it is to be proactive now.
Thank you, Mr. Davies. That was your time. Does anybody else want to speak to the mine?
Mike, I did not recognize you.
Morning, Mr. Bella. Go ahead, sir.
My name is James Bialotta. I'm a candidate for U.S. House for the state of South Dakota. You've heard some issues today. And let's be clear. The Elk Creek watershed needs to be protected. It is, I think, the top 5 watersheds in the Black Hills. That watershed feeds the aquifer. Where the mountains and hills start is the break in the limestone, where that is the point where the recharge site is for the aquifers. That's the entire Black Hills. Whether you live in Sturgis, Lawrence, or Rapid City, if that gets polluted, it could poison everybody's drinking water. One accident, one misstep, and we'd be looking for bottled water. Good luck getting it from FEMA. So what do? The county has Ordinance 52, a ground disturbance permit. And that should go to a public meeting. Now, I'm not against mining, but I don't usually mine inside watersheds, waterways, or where people get their drinking water. Air quality is another huge issue. We all know and have been down through Rapid City, through Deadwood Ave Valley that runs the entire west side of Rapid. And right now today, whether it's snowing or not, that entire valley is cloudy. And it's limestone dust. It's lime dust, which is a carcinogen. And there's 2 major cancers that come from that. You think lung would be almost number 1, but the other one is colon. Because you get lime and calcium deposits inside your GI tract. And the studies coming out of Europe prove this near the mines. So what do we want to do? Are we willing to sell our souls for a few bucks so we give all our kids colon and lung cancer and ourselves while we're at it? And how many people want an opportunity to comment? I'm sure everybody here, if your neighbor sold their house for a mine and they started blasting right up to your property line, you'd have a problem with it. And that's what we see here. People getting blasted right up to their property line. And I can prove this for a fact that I have a warehouse in Blackhawk across from Pete Lean's mine. I got no notice that they were going to be blasting directly across the street from my property, almost all the way up to the street line. And when it does, the center block walls, joints cracked, the well fouled, and there is dust covering everything in my warehouse yard.
It's your time, Mr. Bialotta.
Thank you very much, sir. And the only thing I would ask from the committee, or the council, the commission, is that you disclose any conflicts of interest with any parties at play. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bialotta. Yes, sir.
My name is Alan Feldman. I live in Somerset.
Mr. Is it Feldman?
Feldman.
Feldman. And make sure your mic's on, Mr. Feldman.
There we go. Is that better?
Reintroduce yourself, please,
Okay.
sir.
Hi. My name is Alan Feldman. I live in Somerset. I will have a not-so-beautiful view of a hole in the hills from my front window. Just a couple things. I piggyback on the gentleman who was sitting here who had concerns about the community where he lives. Spoke with a gentleman who lives about a mile from the mine that's proposed to go ahead and start in August. next year. He has 5 acres on the other side of the front hill. Simon has contacted him, and he has given them permission to go ahead and test to see what is there. And if it tests positive, he, in his words, he's looking for a big payday. The gentleman who just spoke was concerned about his neighborhood and Simon already owning a lot of the property where there is limestone. A gentleman who went to the first Piedmont meeting 2 months ago when people first became aware of the mine noted that he owns 300 acres and that Simon contacted him. So my thought is, if this is not going to be something that will continue to go ahead and basically impact health and safety for those who live in Meade County, that there needs to be zoning. And I know from what the gentleman said at length the other day that there was a proposal 10 years ago to go ahead and have zoning in the county. Now it would be seen imperative that there be an opportunity for the voters by next November, if that could happen, that there's zoning in Meade County. Because this is not only going to be happening in Piedmont, but this is going to be happening in many other areas in the county, which will affect health, safety, and the beauty of the hills that we moved here to go ahead and enjoy. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being here and giving us an opportunity to go ahead and speak.
Thank you, Mr. Feldman. Anybody else wish to speak on the mine? Anybody else wish to speak on the mine? When I don't yield time, we don't allow yielding time. Anybody else wish to speak on the mine? Not, I will close comments on the mine specifically. I just want to address. I just want to address a couple things. Commissioner Liggett was also at the meeting the other night in Piedmont, and I do want to thank you guys for keeping that very organized. It was very informative, and you kept it to 45 minutes. It didn't last all night, and I certainly appreciate that. Sometimes you go to those meetings and it gets a little out of hand, to say the least. But you guys did a very good job of keeping that very organized and informative. Also want to address just briefly, I don't know the situation that Mr. Greenberg referred to about the taxes in Blackhawk, but I would invite anybody that has an issue with their taxes to come down and visit with Rhea Crane, who's our equalization director. We've got I would say probably the best equalization department in the state of South Dakota, and they're very open, very fair. By the time the appeals get to us, usually it's we get very few, because there's usually a lot of things that can be resolved at the equalization level before it even gets to us. So, like I say, I don't want to speak. I don't know the situation, but I'd invite anyone to come down and visit with Rhea on that. Is there any commission comments, questions on the mine before I go on to another subject?
Yeah, I'd like to echo the same thing. I think the meeting the other night was really good. I thought it was respectful. The plan going ahead seemed like it was thought out, and I did appreciate the meeting. It was a very good meeting.
I would like Deputy State's Attorney Ken, if you could come forward, please. Ordinance 52 keeps getting brought up. There is some things I emailed you yesterday. Thanks, Bob Burns sent me an email, and I emailed that over to you. Just some questions on that. Could you address some of those questions? And we are still looking into some things we can do with Ordinance 52 on this mine, but if you could address some of that.
Yeah, Ordinance 52 does not apply to ag processes or ag land. There are pieces within what I understand to be the permitted area that are not classified as ag. So that would be something that needs to be looked at. I don't have anything official. I mean, what I've got is from South Dakota Public Radio or Public Broadcasting had a map on it. So that's as official as I have at this point. The ordinance applies to control once you start digging. You know, they supposedly have a permit or allegedly have a permit for 300 acres. That doesn't mean they're going to start mining all 300 acres at the same time. So if they disturb more than a half an acre or disturb more than an acre, there's two different permits that they would have to get, and it's basically to control the runoff and control how it's done. It doesn't stop. You know, if they come in and apply, basically defer to Tanya as to that process if they've got anything built in. But Ordinance 53 may be applicable, depends on where they start doing the mining at. So that's something that the planning department will keep an eye on.
And not, just a question, I guess. So they have a permit for mining, but they don't have a mine plan that I've seen anything on. So,
nor have I.
And that would be maybe the time in which we would see something to apply to an ordinance.
Yeah. I mean, I'm relatively new to the area. I've only lived in Somerset area for 18 years, driven Sturgis Road for a long time. You know, they were mining on one side, and maybe 5-6 years ago, they started mining on the other side. But I know they've owned the property that whole time. So they will have a mining plan, and then, you know, they'll step through it, because it doesn't make sense to start at the top everywhere. That's just not a plan that I would expect that they would have.
Any other questions for Ken while he's up here?
My only thing is my comment. I was also talking to Tony. I can't get onto board talks with my new computer.
I can't either. So
you can't either? Oh, so he must be working on it.
Yes, the server's connection's been lost.
Oh, okay. I'm very concerned that there's only so much the county can do, even with zoning, and I am not sure even with zoning we're going to have much control. As I said last week or 2 weeks ago, I believe there needs to be significant changes made at the state level, both with bonding, reclamation, permitting, as well as licensing. I was unaware of what was happening out west of Sturgis until Bob Quickstead mentioned something on his Facebook page. Apparently it came from a Kiwanis meeting, and then Dr. Davies called me and we had a long conversation last week. I believe there will be a similar uproar in Sturgis like there is in Piedmont right now if suddenly there's large-scale mining between here and Whitewood. At our last meeting, one of the representatives from Piedmont had a map that showed the length of all the limestone. And I guess it's something, you know, seeing the forest, the tree from the forest. We've all known what kind of formation our hills were. I guess I never really thought somebody would come and try to mine it. I just thought it would always be there for myself, my kids, my grandkids, and I will do whatever is possible to make sure that happens, because it does pose a real problem. Our reclamation laws, like I said last time, they're a joke. You cannot rebuild a mountain. All you got to do is look at Wharf or the open pit. We all use gravel. We know we all use gravel. But we don't use as much as our mountains, our hills produce. So when the time comes, it would be great if the public came forward and said, we want zoning. I can't tell you how frustrating that election was. I found it so ironic that no areas passed that zoning laws, including people in the towns of Sturgis, Somerset, and Piedmont. And all of them had zoning. Yet they voted against zoning in countywide, and none of our county regulations would have impacted them as far as what they could do with their property. I got so sick and tired of hearing about we may not be able to have chickens in our backyard, or what happens if I sell a cucumber or a tomato to my neighbor. Those were the kind of arguments that we had. Folks, there is nothing right now that would stop something more just, there are things out there that could be worse than a limestone mine. And believe me, as long as we have an open door in Meade County, as long as we have Rapid City growing the manner in which it is, and it has strong zoning laws, we're going to get everything that will not fit in our adjoining counties. It would be very nice if the public came forward and actually said, we want zoning, and then work to get your neighbors out to vote. These elections have a very low turnout. And we can see the consequences. That's all.
Oh, can I just follow up with a couple comments? First, I slightly disagree with you, Doreen, in that zoning could provide some protection. But I think the difficult with zoning is you got to balance everybody's interests. But the way you see it benefit where you have mining operations is if they come in, you can have, through zoning, you can have setback restrictions and stuff, so you're not mining right up next to the neighbor's property and things like that. Everybody needs gravel. We're going to use gravel. I mean, there's an operating permit just west of Sturgis now that most people don't even know exists. Mining can be done in a way for gravel that makes sense. One thing is when you're mining gravel, you're only mining it for the local area because shipping costs are so much you don't really ship gravel. So the benefit you have, so I've lived out here 34 years, and if you look at that stuff that Pete Lean has done during my lifetime, they've moved a couple hundred acres during my lifetime out here. So, these mining, you would expect, like Rich said, we've not seen a mining plan, but generally they will do that in pockets. So it'd be nice if they voluntarily do it in pockets so that they're far away from everybody's house and there's a view block. If we had zoning, we could put some of those requirements on to make sure those are done that way. Mining companies, like every other company, there's good ones, there's bad ones. So it's difficult. I'm still kind of surprised that Simons picked the location they did. But you're going to continue to see some pressure. That gentleman who spoke, you're going to continue to see some pressure throughout this range where people are trying to get access to that limestone, and part of it's just there's a demand for gravel. As a county, we buy a lot of gravel. The gravel, we're not like I grew up in eastern South Dakota where the glaciers and the left so much sediment, they got gravel pits everywhere. We don't have good gravel. It's really hard to find good gravel, so there's a big demand for it. We're going to continue to see it. It would be nice to get some zoning in there so we don't get it all pushed into here, and that if they do come here, we can regulate it at a point that they reduce any impact on neighbors. It's really not the county's position to stop any of it, but it's the county's position. What I'd like to have is a tool to say, if you're going to do it here and do it like this.
To a degree, I agree with some of what you said. I can remember back as a kid before they had the interstate, and we'd all drive along those very nice houses on the west side of Pete Lean's, and you'd see the dust blow that way. And it seemed like it took a long time for it to gradually get better. But then it seems like it's just been in the last few months when driving, if I'm in Rapid and I'm driving out and I look over by Deadwood Avenue and suddenly it's, where in the heck did the top of the hill go? And I'm sure that's Pete Lean. And you just see that rock, and it's surrounded by the green. And it looks horrible. I never thought it would get that far. I saw on Facebook somebody said, well, it would be nice if it could be done someplace where it's hidden. Well, we're a growing area, and soon there won't be any real well, in my lifetime, there will be hidden areas. But in my grandkids' time, there may not be near as many hidden areas. But, Talbot, what alarmed me was we've all seen Hills material out there right as you go up 14A. And I think they've taken a lot out of the creek and stuff, too. And I think we all just thought it would just slowly stay there forever. We don't buy a lot of rock from them because it costs us so much more, and it costs so much more to have it moved. But when I found out that one of the 4 corporations that were trying to secure mining rights west of town was the cement plant, that tells me there's going to be a lot of building, and that's going to be probably used to a great deal. They apparently know something that the rest of us do not know.
Well,
maybe they have stock in a railhead or something. I don't know.
Let's wrap this up.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say, you have to remember mining companies think in the course of 100 years. I don't think that far ahead. So, but that's the one thing they're planning generationally.
Sure.
So, I mean, when they're securing those rights, doesn't mean they're going to, the Simons is different. They're going, but some of these mining companies secure rights that they never touch because they don't know what the next 50 years.
Let's wrap this up. Let's move on. We got other public comment we need to take. So if anybody else wants to speak on any other subject, welcome you to come forward. Seeing no one come forward, I'm going to close public comment at this time. Let's move on to the routine business. Register of Deeds. I don't see anybody from the Register of Deeds office. Sheriff's office.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Sheriff Pat West. Don't have a whole lot to address, just continuing with our cause for services seem to be going up as usual. Our civil, we're getting hit pretty hard with that. We're managing and stay ahead of it. Doing well with all of that. As far as the jail goes, our biggest customer continues to be Butte County. Average daily stay is around 7.5 days, and I believe that currently, it shows on here our population is around 61, but I think we're close to 70 now, so we're almost full. Been busy, been steady, even though I think a lot of it has to do with the weather being nice, but hopefully things will slow down with the cold weather.
Well, yeah, just wind maybe.
That'd be nice.
That or makes them crazy.
I noticed you had some ICE arrests. I assume they were second-hand occurrences.
Yes, ma'am. That would have been from Butte County area.
Oh, is that
on
where
the
they were
operation
picked
they're
up?
having up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has ICE come for them?
Say it again.
Has ICE come for them yet?
Not that I'm aware of. I think they had some other charges from
yeah,
the
they
state
do.
side.
They had, yeah. I'm sure others got a letter too, and then I saw on Facebook, and you probably did, about some missing property, about a sanitation, water.
Don't know anything about it.
Yeah, why don't you?
Okay.
Okay.
We can visit about it. So.
Okay.
But numbers are pretty straightforward. That's doing well. We'll comment on the overtime. If you look on our dispatch, it was last month, I think it was 120 hours. This month is 90. So we're trying to do some adjusting. Thomas, our new supervisor, is doing well over there. We're still short on personnel on a couple, but hoping to change that soon. Get on track.
You knew my question.
Yeah, well, yeah, continuing to work on it. Yeah, you can see on the communication side, there's 91 hours. And Thomas has been in this position about 30 days, so he's made some serious adjustment to drop it a quarter. So hopefully we can continue to do that. We're utilizing a lot of our part-timers to help with that. So.
Really good. Anything else for Sheriff West?
I will stand by for anything later.
State's Attorney's Office, Treasurer's Office. I know she was busy. She had some things coming in, and she mentioned to Commissioner Liggett, I know. You have anything on the Treasurer sides? They're busy.
No, that and some problem with the computer and waiting to get back.
And that's why she isn't up here right now. She was anticipating
Call back,
so she said it hit about this time. Highway, I don't. One thing. Oh, go ahead. Yep, sure.
So I did meet with City of Somerset on the section line by Norman Avenue, and they are working with their lawyering side to figure out what's going on. I had a conversation with planning, and we're having those conversations. It's the speed of government, so just so everybody kind of knows that it's not falling in the cracks. It's just working with all the municipalities and government.
Thank you. See Troy in the room. Let's skip down to auditor. Oh, certainly, yeah. No, that'd be wonderful. Let's skip down to stay with highway then, and let's go to. Thank you for Mr. Wilsey for hollering at me. Let's go through the bridge inspection report. Since you're here, you probably want to get going as well. So, we're going down to C3. If anyone's following along on the agenda.
And I don't know if we've handled this differently different times I've been here. If everybody's reviewed this previously, or how you want me to proceed,
I think
we step through them or answer specific questions. However you'd like to proceed, I guess.
If we could, what I think would be appropriate to do. I'm having trouble with my internet, but usually we go through these one by one, which seems it gets to be a lot.
Sure.
So what I would personally, unless there's objection from the commission, if there's a new one. Let's talk about the new ones on there, which there's a couple of those, or maybe some of the more significant ones. I know Crick probably comes to mind. Or if there's a question from the commissioners, we can go back to any of those. So I guess I'd prefer to condense this a little bit. Most of the work needs to be done, in my opinion, between you and Troy and the highway liaisons. So, but if there's questions, we'll go back to whatever bridge any of the commissioners want to talk about. But if there's ones to highlight that you can think of or Troy can think of, let's talk about those.
I guess in brief, we only inspected what we call your annual inspections, which are this year. We had 10 of them is all, not the usual 110 or whatever your county has. So, I mean, we've seen these before, right, every year. I know our office is constantly in contact with Troy here, and we interact a lot.
I apologize, Mr. Wilsey. Did you introduce yourself?
I'm sorry, Bruce Wilsey, with Bros Engineering. You've seen me a few times here, I believe. So I guess the way I would approach it is my most significant structures to talk about would be the one that's on the screen there, the one up by Sturgis. I know we're working through a lot of the issues related to all these in terms of funding, et cetera. Unless Troy has something to add, I can certainly add to any specific condition analyses that we've done on any of these, but nothing has changed significantly from last year on any of these.
And I think part of that is we didn't have any major rain events this last year, which sometimes affects some of our bridges tremendously.
Right. Well, and traffic impacts them too. I'm thinking in particular the one on Antelope Road.
Yep.
That would probably be our biggest concern at the moment as far as potential a negative change in condition.
Sure. I guess on the inspections, I don't have any questions. I do have some questions on the one on Antelope Creek Road for that, but I don't know if you're here for that or not. So.
Oh, yeah, we were discussing it earlier because it's also another agenda item to, allow us to do a little change to the typical, however many year flood event that occurs, because we want to, it's been designed to leave it at the same elevation, and it's kind of a question with us to raise the road or just leave it as is, because there was different design options, and we're just thinking of, the amount of flooding that we have had on Antelope Creek and Elk Creek. That whole area down there is quite wet, so we just want to take every precaution necessary.
I'd have to defer to our hydraulics people in my office, and
I wasn't sure if you were knowledgeable on that piece or not.
I'm not up to date on it. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
Was there an action?
Well, yeah, I guess it's a different agenda item. We can get into that in a minute, but just a allowance, a letter that was sent out to allow for it to be, less than our design.
There's a request for a design exception for that bridge. So the standard design is a 50-year event. It's currently at like 6.7. The design exception that they're requesting is for that 6.7 year event, which I don't really think I want to put my name on. So
I would seem that with all the growth in that area, that would be a bad call.
I think that we want to push for the 50-year because I think that's the right thing to do for that area. So, sorry, I'm off topic.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time.
Well, there's so much growth in that. We already have all these issues.
If you could skip down, actually,
we don't need action on the bridge findings report.
No,
I believe so.
I just did notice that I scored the big score on that, and it's fairly high. It's 57.
Is there any other? Is there any questions on the bridge inspections? I guess the one that I mentioned earlier, the Antelope Creek. Right there. We're going to go into the Antelope Creek here. So, is there any other questions on the bridge inspection? And we can get into agenda item C2 then and talk about that at that time, or is that?
Yeah, that's fine. I know Troy's working through the our 5-year plan, and these will show up on that 5-year plan as needed, so that we can work through the H&H and the hydraulics and get big grant applications for those.
If there's no more questions for Mr. Wilsey on the bridge inspection report, you might want to stick around for just a bit. And
in the hot seat, you didn't know.
Yeah, it sounds like we might have some questions for you there as well, so I appreciate your time.
If I don't have an answer, I'll find somebody that does.
Certainly, I appreciate that. So let's go to item, unless you have a question on C3.
I have an overall comment. I've been texting back and forth to Tony, thinking at first it was just my computer until the rest of you had. It is on Board Doc's side. He's number 14 waiting in the queue to see what's wrong. So luckily, you're now out too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We got to use just what's in our head for the rest of the agenda items.
That's terrifying. Scary.
Isn't that terrifying?
Can you handle C2 without internet and Board Docs?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. If that's okay with the rest of the commission, we'll go on to C2 then.
What was the agenda item at C2? Sorry.
The request for design exception.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this was,
you said you could handle
well,
it.
I just didn't know what C2 was, but I know what's on there. Yes. Well, when we met, Bros Engineering...
And introduce yourself, please.
Oh, Troy Eastman here, I'm the highway superintendent. When we met out there, they give us 3 options for the TS and L meeting is what it's called. I forget what that all means, but...
type, size, and location.
There you go. And they give us those 3 different options for... bridge replacement or box culvert, whatever. They take the bridge out and then give us these 3 options, and generally it's pretty easy to just say, let's go with the least expensive one. But in this case, because we know that it floods out there very frequently, and the water's been right up to the top, maxed out several times. 2 out of the 3 years I worked here, I've seen water over that road. And it seems that we need to raise the road or make the bridge bigger to allow more flow or do something with the drainage to increase it, but it's still a big project. And one of the designs was to go back, I think it was 400 feet either way, raise the grade in order to raise the bridge, which is a lot of dirt work, but it's absolutely necessary in my opinion, the way I look at it. So I guess my recommendation would be to do something to prevent flooding or building a dam. So, that's the way I look at it. We have Bros Engineering here that,
I apologize. I'm not familiar with the hydraulics.
And we didn't really expect you to be. We just thought if there was maybe a question you could help us out with. There's probably, it sounds like we need some more work and
Yeah, the request on the agenda is for a design exception. I don't know that I want to give a design exception to the request that's there. Our current ordinance is a 50-year design for those items. I've been in commission for seven years, and I've seen feet of water over that road in the time that I've been here. So there's two waterways that converge right there, go under that bridge. So yeah, I can't in good conscience say that I would grant a design exception for that. So to me, I think we deny the exception and ask for the 50-year design. That's the right thing to do, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there are other options, and the DOT was there, and they mentioned it too, that we're a little shy on that, and so everybody's aware. And I don't know. I don't feel good about leaving it the same elevation. And
one of the other things I think that we probably just need clarification on, but if we do it, if we allow a design exception, the liability of that issue then lands back on the county for allowing something that's not up to the current standards. So to me, I don't think that's the risk that we want to give to the county for the future. So, I mean, that's how I understand it.
Yep, and it's a 100-year design. They're expected to last 100 years. So we put that in, we're going to live with it for a while. So
yeah, that's a lot of flooding in every 6 years.
Okay, is there any other questions from the rest of the commission? Would you kind of alluded to a motion for action there, Commissioner Liggett? I think that'd be appropriate.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to deny the design exception for structure 47-270-575.
You also said something about asking for a 50-year design.
Well, that's our current ordinance, so I don't know that we have to.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, thank you. Motion is second on the floor to deny this design exception. Any discussion to that motion?
Yeah. Right. Okay. The only thing I want to make sure is, talk to Jason and make sure that they can do just pushing that out. It's probably going to it'll cost more money, obviously. But we just need to verify. But I'm still comfortable with this decision.
Mm-hmm.
But if it needs to come back, we can bring it back.
Okay. And I did discuss with him options. So if we deny this, we want to bid this ourselves or do our own project without the big grant part of it. They can work on that design this winter, and turnaround time, he said that very likely next year it could be built, depending on the design and all this and that, but he could work on that pretty much starting right away.
It's still eligible for big grant dollars. It's just not as quick as we would want it to be.
Yes.
Is that my understanding?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm good with the motion.
Okay, any other discussion to that motion, which is to deny the design exception? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Wilsey, for hanging out with us today. Traffic count analysis, we're down to recall the roads that they looked at. Go ahead. Okay, well, outstanding. I guess I do too. So you got sulfur on the,
Yeah, that one's been a hot topic here recently, so that's why we decided to go put our traffic counters up there.
I can pull it up, but I can't get the count.
I can't.
73, it looks like.
Doesn't work for me. Did you go back out and come back in?
Okay. Any other questions on that? What's the latest count we've done on New Underwood Road?
I'd have to look back, but when that was done, does it say a date on there?
I'm assuming that was this year.
It was just this year. Okay. I was just curious if we felt we needed to get enough. Any other questions on traffic count?
You're the only one who got it.
Okay. Thanks, Troy.
Yep.
That's fine, as long as you're in.
Yeah, that's auditor report. And I do want to mention, I think congratulations is appropriate. Dawn Christensen was just sworn in yesterday morning at 8:30. She is Meade County's new auditor. I think she's been with us for 2 years now?
Almost 2 years, yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
she's doing a wonderful job in that office, and I have, as liaison, I'm very confident she'll do a very good job as Meade County's auditor, so I just want to wish her congratulations.
Thank you. Dawn Christensen, Meade County Auditor. In our report, we have the updated October numbers for apportioning, attorney fees, court cost liens collected and billed, voter registration numbers, which a lot of the updates are higher because of the address verification and confirmation process that we've been going through. October 2025 has been reconciled and balanced. We have a lot of ongoing projects, not a lot of new projects at the moment. Rhea, Christina, and I did attend an election school in Pierre this last week that was auditor-led. We talked a lot about election processes. We talked about combined elections versus in conjunction elections. We are meeting with Chairman Deering, Chief Deputy State's Attorney Ken Klebrad, and Executive Director Rhea Crane today to have more discussion on that and how we will proceed. The total vote was the election software that we currently use for elections that was going to go live in December, transitioning to South Dakota votes, SD votes. That has been postponed to the beginning of 2027, which is a good move for auditors, so we're not implementing a new system in an election year. It gives us a lot more time for testing and to get familiar with the new system. The levy process is still ongoing, levy process and tax billing process. 2 of our forms for levies are pending certification. We know what all the levies should be. There is 1 form that is still not pulling over correctly from Encode to South Dakota e-file, and we're working with DOR and Encode to get that corrected. So that's where we're at on that. And we also have the November 14th payroll and year-to-date overtime report.
Any questions for the auditor's office and the just over 24-hour auditor?
I got some good ones. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Okay, let's move down to planning. I also, on the auditor, just want to, as well as congratulating Dawn, I think we owe Rhea, thank you for stepping into that role, and I know it was not easy there, and you were, I think it was, we didn't anticipate 2 years, but I
Has it
think
been that long? Wow.
we were anticipating much shorter time, but as that office is a very complicated office, and not many people were stepping forward to take on the job, but you did a tremendous job in the time you were there. So
We were fortunate.
let's move down to planning.
Meade County Planning Director Tanya Vig. We have C. Faulkner will be reaching the end of her term on December 31st of 2025. Requesting commissioners to review and interview applicants on December 23rd. I'm not sure of a time. If you guys would like to state a time, that would be great. And to advertise on a public format, Facebook page and then the website. I've included a link for the citizens' interest application also. What's it there?
Is she interested in serving again?
Yes, she is.
Sitting on the audience
sitting
too, so
behind
don't
me.
say anything bad about her.
No.
I guess I thought it went well. I yield to a little bit to Commissioner Wojciech, who's chair of that committee, but I thought it worked well last time. We held interviews right at the beginning of our last meeting.
Well, yeah, that's fine. Historically, I'm not sure we've held interviews if somebody wants.
Okay, and we did last time. Yeah, because there was 2 members that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Last time.
So, and there was several other applicants. Is the reason we chose. And I'm open to doing it, however, but I nonetheless how we did it last time. If that's the process I thought it worked fine. I thought it worked well. We held the interviews, I believe, right away at the beginning of the meeting.
Yes.
and if those available, there might have been someone that was not available, but we did try to make exceptions. It doesn't necessarily work with the commission schedule, but if that's how you would, if that works fine with the rest commission, like, I guess we can go ahead and we can do that right after public comment is what I would suggest with the interviews. We don't necessarily need action to set that, do we? Prefer to do that at the December 23rd meeting, or would you prefer to do that at December 9th meeting?
Yeah,
I put the
You prefer the 23rd? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and so
that gives enough notice as well.
Tanya, let's look back on the history of somebody. I don't know if somebody got appointed to fulfill a term, but awkward that we have. We probably should have 2 people rotating every year. We've got a pack of 3. You know. Try to figure out how that.
And I'm glad you bring that up because I thought of the same thing. Are they set by statute terms?
I think it's set by our ordinance.
And I didn't, because if there's no rules to terms, it'd be nice to get those staggered so that there was.
Well, yeah, my guess of what happens is sometimes is you got them staggered, and then somebody gets appointed to and actually should be just to fulfill the term, but then they treat it as a 3-year. And sometimes these get kind of long. But let's just take a look at that. Got to pull up the ordinance while we're.
Okay.
If I can get it to pull up on the internet.
So we will have these. We'll have interviews on around 9 o'clock on December 23rd.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to. Is everyone here for your road district? See? Actually, that's gonna take just. Let's go to. I'm sorry. I'm gonna skip down to communique. It's probably gonna take a little bit more time. We have a hearing at 10 o'clock, so let's skip down to commission, which. Communique, just some updates from Black Hills Works, DNR, and the Board of Minerals and Environment. Any questions, comments on any of that? Let's move down to commission updates. Are there any updates from the commission? We'll update Commissioner Creed and I have been working with Sheriff West and Gale Director on ambulance and medical contracts. At some point in time, we'll come up with a plan for that. Working hard on that. Any other updates from the commission? Okay, let's move down to the consent calendar. Do I have any motion to approve the consent calendar?
I'll move to approve the consent calendar.
Motion is second to approve the consent calendar. Any discussion to that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Have straight up 10 o'clock, so let's go to item F1 on our hearing. Bid opening for surplus gravel. Is anybody from the public here to speak to this hearing? Anybody from the public here wish to speak to this hearing? Anybody from the public wish to speak to this hearing? Not seeing anybody come forward, I will close public comment on this hearing and ask Superintendent Eastman to open the bids.
All right, it looks like we have one unless somebody else is going to step up here at 10. This is from North Star. Okay, it says that the purchase price of the stockpile material, they will offer $7,377.50. I guess I have to do the math to figure out what that costs per ton. ton, right? So it'd be. It was a little bit shy of that, but
14.7 something. Adwood. 14,755.
What was it appraised at?
$2.
So I guess that gives us the option to reject the bid or accept the bid.
It looks like $2.01.
And they bid $7,350.
$7,377.50. And it's the only bid that I've received.
Well, what's the advantage of us not taking it in?
So we have to get it removed. Is that correct?
Yeah, he wants it moved in order to continue his operation. So, I mean, we could get it moved or work out another deal to have it at least moved over, you know, in a different spot, possibly. I mean, there are uses for this material. It's just the timing and the expense of hauling it out ourselves is kind of difficult.
Is it the way I understand it, the gravel is not very good quality?
It just doesn't have a lot of rock in it. It's really high PI, which is good binder. But yeah, there's not much rock, which again, we could mix it with other material that we have and make it useful, but it's just a lot of work by the time you haul it and mix it and do all this and that. You know, we're crushing for cheaper than what we would have into it, but
get rid of it. Yeah.
And that's the other piece of that is they want it moved. They want it moved within 14 days of the sale. So technically, I mean, we would be on the hook to move 15,000 tons.
Yep.
It's going to cost us
600 loads.
A lot to move that.
Mm-hmm.
The other question is, how long do we have to accept this bid? And Ken, maybe, how long do we?
Generally, it's 30 days.
I don't think there was.
I'm inclined to just get rid of it, but at the same time, if would there be an advantage to? We can offer it for sale on an appraised price, can't we?
If you reject the bids?
No, can we hold on to the bid and we have to sell it? Do we have to accept the bid today? That's my question.
You do not have to accept it today.
So, but you could accept it by our next meeting.
Correct.
So we could see if there's a potential of a buyer by then. But they're not going to buy it for that.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, you're in the bid process.
Okay.
You either reject them all or accept this bid.
That was my question.
Is the next step, yeah.
Okay.
And we can accept this bid, although it's a quarter of the appraised price?
Correct.
Because it was a bid and not an open sale, correct?
Well,
apparently
that's
no one
what I went
wants
to grab the book for.
Well, I think the problem is the obligation to move it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure that lowers that.
And yeah, it's about to be about 600 loads, and you guys have plenty to do. I'd rather gravel was hauled on some of these other roads versus trying to get that out of there.
Yeah, I'd rather good gravel.
I'd rather.
So
I make the motion we accept the bid and get rid of it.
Second.
Motion is second to accept the bid on the surplus gravel. Any discussion to that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
What happens if the person does not get it out of there in time?
They're
the owner.
Yeah.
It's between them and the owner, correct?
We're
out of it.
We're out.
They own it now.
Okay.
Let's go down to item G, proposed Domino Place Road District.
Word docs, or we don't have Word docs?
We just got it back.
I'm C. Faulkner. I have with me Skip Abel, Greg Blashford, three of the residents in our road district. We have about 12 in our road district. We have a road that needs some serious work and a bridge that apparently needs some serious work. So kind of good timing today. I was really excited to see the bridge on the bridge list. We would like to form a road district. Skip worked with Mr. G's to get a bid just to get the road to the point, help me out, Greg, where we can get it to drain and not wash out the road every time we have a rain, significant snowfall, blah, blah, blah. There's a picture looking south towards the bridge. You can see it's big rock, gravel. This is right near the bridge. Usually the bridge area is pretty potholed, but Skip, being a nice guy, had Mr. G's put down some gravel to fill the potholes this spring. The tune of how much, Skip? So, we really need a road district.
Well,
We have a lot of
What roads would you say you're going to take?
just Domino Place.
So, a couple things. Question. Why, I don't understand your boundary.
So,
All the area actually be, you'd want the area that actually served, all the area that would be served by Domino Place.
we do. We have everybody on there.
Okay, not tracking where the road, like you've got 40 that's Xed out.
I'm going to show them where the road goes, Greg. Do
It's just the one in the center, right? I mean, that's.
Yeah, we only have one road.
What about, is it Sydney? No.
Sydney Stage is a county road.
Yeah. So you come off Sydney Stage and you go north, correct?
Yep, and then it curves to the east by
Go sit.
Skips and goes up the hill.
Okay, but that, and I can't tell because the way this is colored in.
Greg's better at this.
Pull up the tabs you got. Okay, but you don't have this parcel in. And I don't know why you wouldn't want that one.
We don't have Rick Solzers in because Rick has a drive before the bridge. Oh, yeah, we could put that in.
And then, does it go up to here then too?
Yeah, yeah.
Go up to here? That's a private. Okay, but if anybody so the problem I have with these road districts, okay, is you want, if you're going to do a road district, you want all the area that's going to be served by that road.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've got a couple, looks like 40s, I think, to me, that you've got Xed out here. That would be served
Those
by.
are.
Or,
That one, yeah, we could do Gustafson.
And then
The private road up to the tower, go past your driveway. That comes up off of Sydney Stage.
okay, but, and then, is that Wilson's place you got in over on the corner?
Yeah, Wilson's.
But they don't use Domino, do they?
No, they use.
And why do you have them included? Okay, then what's that area next to the interstate?
That's, we call it Nissonville. That's Frank and Carolyn Nissen.
They come off of Domino?
They come off a Domino Place across from Greg.
So does that then at land butt up against
Sydney Stage.
Sydney Stage? So, I mean, if you go to incorporate a road district, you need to make sure who's all taken all off, butting up to the edge. Wouldn't want to take that right away of Sydney
I got a question for Troy. We don't maintain Sydney Stage after the corner at Domino, right? We are. Okay. All the way along the interstate?
At Wilson.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm, you know,
Yeah, Sydney Stage is great for right. Domino Place, not bad.
I don't know that that's always going to be the case. Is my that's my concern on that one.
Yeah, well, my whole thing, what you mean for maintenance on Sydney Stage?
A dead end road.
Well, I mean, frankly, you probably should be punched through someday, at some point. Wilson's ever go to chop their place up, you probably need to figure out an avenue to get through there. But there should be a frontage road that goes exit to exit. Watching these road districts, where I see the road districts get jammed up is all of a sudden road district roads being used by a subdivision that's not in the road district. Okay. And be problematic. Well, you've seen
you've
I
seen
know,
those.
I know. I'm on the planning and zoning. Truthfully, anything beyond Tip and Claudette is going to be Wilson, and that would come in from.
yeah, I think you did. But
And there's really nothing behind Terry at this point. Us, it goes all the way.
Excuse me. Can you please talk into your mic?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Behind us, it goes all the way over to McIntosh before there's another road.
yeah, well, and that ridge is there. So
Mm-hmm.
you can't really,
Right.
But how about all that area kind of to the east of your east boundary? Where's that area going to get access?
When you say east, Talbot, east of.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
No, that's Sydney Stage, and that's not ours.
Well, how does Sydney Stage get to there? That doesn't touch Sydney Stage.
That's up behind yours.
Oh, that's
That's
behind.
all Ron's.
That's the bark plant, then.
No,
if it's
bark
on this
plant's
side.
down below.
Bark plant's down across the road from Sydney.
Park plant's over here.
I got it. I got to get it.
Get your glasses on. Yeah. So, and then the 240s I'm talking about that are problematic. That one and then that one. It'd come up Domino and hit this corner.
Down. That one there. Drive that comes off. We don't cross.
Yeah, that black line on the bottom is their road.
Yep.
To go to their places.
Domino place goes up. Dedicated. Dump in on it.
Yes.
Offset from that. This is a section line.
Yeah.
So they're public roads. But, that section. one that you have to let, it has to be.
But I mean, until you
guys are creating a government. Boundary the right way. Levy's the right way. It's a lot easier to do it now.
So,
The issues with it.
right, so what are you,
My opinion, I would do 40.
Yeah.
So
when you say those
right. Well, I mean, the question is, if they're going to come and access Domino Place at any point, if that 40 gets developed into 2-acre lots, where do those people go?
Yeah, and
I know that right now it's not, but it's not uncommon that can happen.
Ken, can you? I'm just interrupt this. Can you give us a briefing on the road district process? Real.
Some yellow and some not.
I don't have a clue.
I can answer that. I can actually answer that. This was a map that C sent to me without, I think you sent me addresses, correct?
Yeah.
So I sent her this map back and I hash marked the addresses that she sent me. Yep. The yellow properties were ones I assumed she would want in, and I sent this back to her with yellow asking if that was the case.
Okay.
because they're right now undeveloped.
So they didn't have an address to send.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Because my concern was, if you got to do a boundary, is what the map has to be presented as, and you can't skip 165004 and pick up
No.
on the other side of it. So.
No, we were good with that.
So as I was looking at the map, that was my concern. The process is they develop their plan and they bring it to you. You either approve that they have met the requirements of the statute, which is basically doing a petition and then displaying the map and the petition in someplace within the road district for, I think it's 30 days. Then they come to you and say, we've done everything that's required. You say, yes, you have, and it's not a judgment call for the board. Is this a good plan, a bad plan? It's have you met the requirements? We do have a preference, I think the board has stated in the past, for minimum property values within a road district because you're going to be levying. I mean, if you don't have any property to levy on, you can't get enough money to do the road work you want to do.
Okay.
So we could look back to see what that dollar amount was.
Can I ask you a question? How when we set the levy, do we need to set that year one, or do we have flex? Rhea said something in an email about 1 to 3. But
If I'm not mistaken, you set it, and then you get 3 years to play with it. After that, it's subject to limitations on growth.
subject to the CP.
Yeah.
So,
Is that your understanding from the auditor's office? Yeah.
so if we wanted to, because if you look at what we've got for repairs, just to get the road so that it drains and get the ditches cleaned out so we can get down to the bridge, we're looking at almost $7,000. And then that's not resurfacing yet. So we're kind of trying to figure out how that plays.
And being a separate entity, that's what you get to figure out.
That would obviously come after it was approved.
Yep.
And,
Right.
so
Yeah, but you would want to think about it.
Yeah,
Ahead of time.
obvi-
Your neighbors are going to ask what the levy's going to be.
yeah,
Right.
and that's going to be, that's probably going to determine some of their votes as well.
Well, you're going to have to levy, I think they get the local road portion.
Second, yeah.
Yeah.
The secondary
Because-
road portion becomes, but that's not very much money. You're going to have to do a levy, and then your levy, the first earliest you'll be able to levy is next September.
At this the earliest they could levy would be for 26, pay 27 if it were to us by July 15th. And the election was held and approved by July 15th.
Right. Because then they'd have to have the budget by the end of September or whatever for it and set the levy.
Yeah, so then they come to the board for approval that they've done what's required. You then create the road district subject to an election.
So they're going to have to, first step is getting a petition to
Correct.
make sure it can get on the ballot, or on a ballot.
Yeah, and you'll need the map to attach to the petition.
Yeah.
And here's the boundaries.
Second step is then the election of that. So, and which, yeah, that's up to them to determine what's appropriate for the petition. That's correct. The county doesn't help.
They can go onto the Secretary of State's website. They have sample petitions for almost everything.
I've already pulled it. We're really trying to get this done.
Yeah, well, and it sounds like there is some urgency before July 15th. So essentially what you're saying is it is up to them what boundaries they pick.
Correct.
And this is what we're doing today is essentially a formality. And I like this process to some degree.
And I thought we had Gustafson on the list.
And
we do. It's just that when Rhea drew the map, she left out that one section.
So, yeah, you'll want to make sure the map is correct. And
we didn't include any of Wilson's, though, because we felt they came off of Sydney's stage.
So this is more or less an update is what we're going through today. And I think Talbot and Rich had some very good suggestions for you guys. I guess that's up to you if you agree or not. I guess I'd recommend see if you'd want to visit with Talbot after and planning meeting is December 1st. Is that correct, Talbot?
Yes. Yes.
So I guess and
Monday.
That'd be up to because I think that might be helpful for you guys to going forward if you'd take a look at some of this on the map and.
Just so you guys know, on the road district side, my estimate of a mile of maintenance of a road district is about $8,000 a year. So if the road's in good shape, that's about the average that I'm seeing in the.
Well, and I think we'd like to get it so that it is in good shape, so then all we have to do after that is.
Just so you know how much, it does cost. Like, so you got $7,000 to get it up to shape, roughly a mile of road. It looks like to me, mile and a half. So you're in that $8,000 to $10,000 a year just in maintenance to keep it in that condition. Bridge is a totally different scenario. I've never added a bridge to a road district calculation. So,
well,
I don't know.
Is the bridge still say our responsibility under state law?
That was my question.
Yeah, no. we were good with leaving you guys with the bridge, especially since
it
needs a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't think we can.
All bridges are ours, aren't they?
Okay. And I don't think we can get out of it unless they would.
Not ones in municipalities, I don't believe.
Oh, wow.
And that's why I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't know in a road district because the way the statutes read a road district.
Right. That's what I thought.
I have not. It's just a general rule that, we've had some on what are essentially driveways that I'm thinking of Kentucky Place.
But it wasn't in a road district, though.
No, it wasn't in a road. I'm just saying.
We've gotten rid of a couple of them.
We've gotten rid of a couple of them. Yeah. And, no, I haven't specifically looked at the responsibility within the road district.
And I guess that'd be the one, the responsibility, but also if we couldn't force a sale, though I don't think, but is that possible? I guess that would be our next question, too. Okay, unless there's any more questions, and that's what, just to echo a little bit from what Mr. Liggett.
Mr. Chair, I did find in a meeting on April 3rd, 2012, the commission did set the policy that reads, amend motion to $5 million and minimum of 15 parcels for a contribution of $2,000.
I was thinking $5 million was the number.
Yeah. Well, that just means we won't contribute to it.
I believe that those were the numbers that you used for your minimums at the time.
Well, I understand, but there's also some things we learned about the statute that on the process that can we deny any road district that comes forward?
Not if they've met the statutory posting requirements. The petitions are in the proper form, right number of signatures. If
So
they
what-
comply with the requirements of the statute, they have to go to a vote.
So what, with that said, then what does that, our policy of the 5 million, what does that mean?
That's guidance that from the board that this is what you need to be ineffective. And they can also, and Rhea, was that for a contribution of 2,000?
No,
Because we can assist in the costs of forming the road district. And that's our requirements before we'll assist.
It's a recommendation then, but it's not.
it was set in policy at the time. It was a proposal brought forward by Alan Aker, because at the time we were getting a lot of requests for road districts. And at that time, it took a minimum of a $5 million assessed valuation to come anywhere near enough valuation to get enough. Just let me finish, please. To generate enough revenue for a road district, and so we were not. At that time, we were not going to contribute anything, or even participate at all, unless it was at least $5 million. And subsequently, after that, we did deny some.
We have,
yeah,
but
because
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I'm just telling you what happened.
How about you've been trying to get words in? You good?
Yeah, I just, I think Ken's right. I think that resolution probably means, and frankly, I wouldn't probably vote to give them any money to do this. Under the statutes, it doesn't look like if they do it right, that we say no. I just see a lot of risk. I did note that Domino Place publicly dedicated. So I think that's a problem to have a segment of public roads on the back side of you there.
We're talking of taking all of it to the end. It ends in Terry Nelson's, and Terry Nelson's is on the next.
Talbot, are you saying beyond the improved portion,
It
continues
doesn't-
on as a public right-of-way?
It doesn't go beyond Terry's.
Yeah, except you're not taking in the stuff on the south side.
You're talking about Ron's field there?
Yeah, I mean, so
We can put Ron's field in there. I mean, Ron's already in there. It's just a matter of his acres.
yeah, I'm just telling you that somebody comes in there and chops that up into fives or something.
Yeah,
And then they don't have to pay for, but you guys get to maintain the
No,
road
we
for
can
them.
put Ron's in there. That's not an issue either.
That's where I see these issues. Last thing you want to do as a road district is be responsible for a through road, other property. Because all you've done is gift the developer that he has no obligation to maintain the road, and he can chop that land up and dump it all on the road.
No, putting that parcel of Ron's got 2 parcels in there that are blacked around. We can put them in. And then the one across the road from Greg we can put in. That's not a big deal. And Ron's already in, so.
I guess that's kind of my sentiment is, plan for the 50-year event. What's it gonna look like in 50 years? Who's gonna be out there? We don't know. Somebody might get mad and say, I don't want the land, chop it up in little pieces, and then you guys are stuck with it. It's a government entity that you guys are creating. And then when you set your levies, make sure you set your levies for the cost. I mean, we get a 3% increase or whatever on our CPI. That's not enough to cover inflation on road districts. I see it a number of times. Then you got to opt out. You got to have that fight later. So before you get through this whole process, have that discussion.
Yeah, frankly, my advice would be election from the beginning, because every year mill levy falls because of the cap. The levy gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Big inflation year.
Because we only get CPI.
Right. Well, or 3%, whichever is less. So those years we're getting 10% inflation, and you can only raise your revenue by 3%. So your best thing is to max it out from the beginning and take the excess and just build up a capital fund for get it down the road.
You guys have any ideas on that bridge?
No,
no, knock yourself out.
I know it just came up, I know, but I just wanted to know. If you
Yeah, I'm going to ask Ken to look into that one because I don't know the answer. I mean, I don't know.
No, I meant after your report today, have you thought about what or when you would fix it?
It is currently not on our 5-year plan.
It doesn't go to a road that we control soon.
Don't be a smart mouth with me. No, I mean, seriously, it was on your list today.
It's on the list of a degraded structure, but it's not necessarily one that's on our 5-year plan for replacement.
And if the state would pick it up for a big contribution, then that's so.
We do between 1 and 2 a year that we try to get big grants on. We're usually successful every other year-ish on a big grant. We have 111 structures, 110 structures, I think now. So there's a lot out there, which is.
Yeah. So it's not real likely that it's going to get picked up. Okay, well, I guess you guys have gotten.
Do you guys have any questions?
What we'd recommend. I guess that it sounds like it's up to you to go forward. If you have any more questions, let's reach out. So thank you guys for coming in today.
Thank you. Oops.
Itty bitty.
Okay, moves us down the agenda to executive session. I do have a need for legal, contractual, and personnel. Yeah. Do I get a motion to do so?
Make a motion to go exec for legal, contractual, and personnel.
Motion second to go into executive session for legal, contractual, and personnel. Any discussion to that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I'll declare us out of exec at 12:50. And I believe we've concluded our business and gotten through the agenda, and I will declare us adjourned.